Hi, today we'll be talking about Trophic Cascade and how wolves affect it by Alexandria Hanlon. So here I have an example of a gray wolf food web, sorry. It is kind of shows how the different tertiary levels, so the tertiary, secondary, and primary consumers to the producers, and all of the arrows represent the energy going up towards to the gray wolf. And the actual definition of a trophic cascade is the secondary disruptions that go cascading through a system from which a keystone species has been removed. With that, with that happening, the wolves completely disappear, and if you notice in the illustration, there's a hawk, there's a bunch of elk, there's a coyote, a fox, a raccoon, but the banks are bare. And there's very minimal trees, there's minimal bushes, grasses, and all you really see are elk and deer that are present. And that's because the elk no longer have a predator and they have nothing holding them back from breeding and just living their lives, and their populations skyrocket while smaller predators become the top predator in the area. And in phase two, what happens is shrubbery actually begins to disappear along with grasses and trees, and especially willow trees, as that is a very popular food among elk and deer. So they have nothing to stop them from doing that, such as the wolves. And bears actually begin to disappear also because the deer and elk have now started taking all of the berries, all of the green stuff that they all eat. So they need to move and find a new place. Completely removing a keystone species has a huge effect on this, which is why the coyotes become the top predator, the birds disappear, and there's literally just a barren landscape. So if you look in the photo, for example, you see the barren, there's not a whole lot of shrubs in 2002, but after the reintroduction in 2015, a few years later, there's more grass, shrubberies, trees, etc. And once phase three happens, aquatic life becomes affected. There's less oxygen in the water due to sediment being washed off of the banks, which are bare. And then after, again, the bushes come back, the beavers come back, which means there's less flooding, like in the left photo. And again, in the left photo, it has an illustration of exactly how gray wolves affect everything from elk to the coyote, beavers, ravens, eagles, lizards, and even songbirds. And here I have a graph explaining exactly what populations are skyrocketing. Like you can see the beaver, the willow trees, bison, aspen heights, which is a tree. You have cottonwood trees, which are exploding. But if you notice, the elk population, yes, is declining, but is beginning to stabilize. And in the left corner, we have an illustration of before the wolves were actually eradicated from the environment. So you have bears, elk, foxes, songbirds, beavers, bushes, trees, and then you go back to the original photo I showed you where it's after. So in conclusion, I hope this helped you understand trophic cascade and exactly how it affects, or how wolves affect it. And I hope you get to decide on your own whether or not you support whether wolves are reintroduced or not. So thank you for listening and have a good day.